Hi everyone, and welcome back to a new aquarium build. This aquarium build is going to be for my wife, so when she's working at a desk she can look across and see a little slice of nature. This is a very simple design, with a large open space and in the center a hardscape formation with some plants to tie it all together. So sit back, grab a cup of tea, and come and join this build with me. These are all the components I'm going to be using for the build. For my filter choice, I went with the Aqua One Ocellaris 400. This filter is perfect because of its slender design, so it can fit behind the cabinet on the left for easy maintenance. Next is the substrate, which is the Aqua Oil Natural Aquarium Substrate, which has a nice cream color to it. My wife didn't want a white sand, which was going to be too bright. Last is the light. I spent a considerable amount of time trying to pick the right light, and I settled with the Chihiro Series B, which is perfect for the type of plants I'll be using.
Here I have two pieces of foam board, so that the tank can have some support so it's not sitting on itself. I'm placing the tank on the foam so I can cut the right shape. I built this tank myself out of spare glass I had from old fish tanks. It measures 57 by 36 by 34 centimeters, which is 70 liters or 19 gallons. Here I am cutting the foam board to size. I'm going to spray paint the foam board so that it's not as noticeable under the tank. I first start by taping the two halves together with masking tape. I then stick the piece down so it doesn't fly away when I paint it. Now onto the spray paint. I tested this on some of the scrap foam that I cut off to see if the paint would react, but it didn't. So I went ahead and painted the whole board. Make sure if you do this, it is done with a mask, gloves, and eye protection on, and in a well ventilated area. Placing the painted board back on the stand, I then grab the tank and place it on top, moving the tank and board around to place it in its final resting place. You may have noticed that the silicone color has changed from clear to black. While I was filming, the bottom of the tank suddenly cracked. I had no idea why this happened. Luckily, I had some spare glass and had black silicone instead. In my opinion, I like the black color better. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to unpack the light, which is the Chihiro Series B 45 aquarium light. I remove everything from the box. This light comes with DC power adapter, the wire and feet for the stand, and of course the light. This light has a nice slim profile, perfect for the tank. I assemble everything as per the instructions by tightening the locking nut for the power cable. I then assemble the legs by putting the L-shaped metal rod into the foot base. I do this for all 4 rods. At the end of the light, there is 2 holes for the legs of the feet to slide into. This is done on both sides. I go ahead and place the light on the tank. I have measured from both ends of the light to make sure it is centered on the tank. The right foot was giving me a little trouble, but I managed to get it seated. I then flicked on the light, and I have to say I'm very impressed with the brightness and color of the light. For the substrate, I went with the Aqua L Aquarium substrate. This is a nice cream color. We didn't want to go with a bright white sand as this will reflect too much light and be too bright to look at. I spread the sand around. which is a very nice feeling. I get it into a nice even layer so then I can start to build up a slope towards the back to create more interest in the tank. This is the slope that I ended up with. I'm very happy with this slope and how much sand is at the back, so it gives me plenty of opportunity to bury the stones. I'm going to now lay out where I want the stones to be. I'm using smooth lava rocks for the hardscape elements. This stone has heaps of tiny holes that will help beneficial bacteria grow and help remove any unwanted ammonia and nitrates building up in the tank. Once I'm happy with the placement, I remove the stones ready to attach the plants. The plants I'll be using for this build are 2 Anubis nanopetites, 1 Anubis bateri glabra, 4 Java ferns, and 1 Anubis bateri coffeefolia. These plants are easy to grow and care for. That's why I've chosen these plants for this build, because it is a very simple build. Now it's time to attach the coffeefolia to the stone. I start by getting the position of the plant onto the stone. I then get some green cotton thread and wrap it around the plant base and stone. This part can be a little tricky, so just take your time. Once I've got it securely attached, I add a small dab of glue to the thread and a small square of cotton tissue. This is now ready for the tank. Did the same thing with the Java ferns. I've sped this up since you don't need to see me do the same thing twice. I did this for all the other plants as well. Time to add the hardscape and plants. I noticed that the first time I put the stones in the first time, they were more towards the left, and I want them more in the center. This will create a nice symmetry when looking at the tank. I took my time with this step because I wanted everything perfect for when I surprise my wife with it. I'm really happy with the flow and symmetry of the tank. Now it's time to fill up the tank. Thanks for watching. Make sure you press the like, subscribe, and notification bell. It really helps me out. I have also set up a Patreon. If you like what you saw and would like to support me to continue to make beautiful aquascapes, go and check it out. All the links to my social media and Patreon are in the description below. Thanks again, and see you in the next build.